JJ McCarthy is a big name, and I see that you have him going to Denver. And I know the Giants were very intrigued, and we've heard Jim Harbaugh come out and say that this guy is like just like Dabo Sweeney came out and said that about who the quarterback that's playing playing for the Browns, who got a guaranteed money about what was it, a year and a half ago, who barely is playing right now, Mr. Watson, who likes to get hand jobs in the back room. But nevertheless, JJ McCarthy is a big name right now, and some people say he's moving up in the draft board. Some people think he could be drafted in the top 10. Teams might move up to get him and snag him. Why is everybody estimating this kid, who some people thought was in maybe a late first round, early second round draft pick, jumping all the way to the teens and maybe in the top 10? Why is this? And why do you think he goes to Denver?
We do this every year, right?
Yeah.
We do this every single year. Will Levis last year, he's going to be a top 4. The Colts might take him at 4. He doesn't even go in the first round. We did it with Malik Willis and Matt Corral as potential first round picks. We did it with Kyle Trask. I remember getting mocked in the first round. He's going to go high. Mac Jones is going to go in 3rd overall. We went 15. We do this every single year. I could pull out, I've been doing this since 2004. I could pull out name after name after name because the quarterback's the most important position. So every team that needs one is just going to take one. That's not how it works. The guy has to be good. I think JJ McCarthy, went back to his film a couple weeks ago and rose him up my rankings a bit. I still think he's kind of a late first round talent. Now, could that get pushed up into 11 Minnesota, 12 Denver? That's where that makes sense to me. I don't think the Giants are moving up to 4 to take JJ McCarthy. That's just stupid. I don't think the Vikings are going to give up 2 first round picks to move to 4 when they have 23. I mean, they could sit there and say, okay, everyone's gone. Maybe we could take Bo Nix. We could take Michael Penix much later in the first or even in the second. We just do this every year where we think every team that needs a quarterback is just going to take the next guy. And that's not how it works. There's 3 quarterbacks in this class who have elite potential. And JJ McCarthy is not one of those 3. He's probably going to go relatively high because he has a good skill set, but it wasn't his fault. That he didn't throw a ton and he didn't need to. They won every game, but that's still something you want to see more of. I would like to have a higher volume of him in tough situations and scenarios. We just didn't get to see that. I think he could be a good player, but I think we just do this every year and think every quarterback's going in the top 10. We haven't had 4 quarterbacks go in the top 9 in the modern NFL era. We have never had it happen in the top 9. It's probably not happening this year. That's how it goes. It's probably not happening this year. So I'm going to take that to the bank, and I'll die with the ship if it does.
So one of the other prospects that's been polarizing has been Brock Bowers. You draft the tight end early, and he's a top 10 athletic grade or top 10 pick projection wise, top 3 athletic grade, stuff like that. And I think you had him mocked to his New York Jets at number 10.
Come on. Why would you do that to me, Shane?
So what are your thoughts on where he could go? And would you draft him there if you were certain teams?
Well, look, I would draft him there. I mean, I think Brock Bowers is my 7th ranked player in the entire draft because I think he's going to be what we wanted Kyle Pitts to be, right? What Kyle Pitts was not for the Atlanta Falcons. What Brock Bowers brings to the table is he's not just a receiver. He's not just, the typical tight end that you're bringing out. He was running for touchdowns in the SEC. They're using him on jet sweeps. They're using him in different ways. Tight end screens, something we really haven't had an athletic tight end who understands spacing of defense, rushing angles, things that tight ends don't do at any level. Brock Bowers knows his football IQ is off the charts, so I personally think that Brock Bowers is the 3rd best weapon in this draft behind Marvin Harrison and Malik Nabers. I would even consider him over Rome Odunze. I don't think he'll go over Rome Odunze. I think the Jets would take Odunze over Bowers. But, this type of weapon, we saw it with Sam Laporta. When you have the athleticism and you have the high football IQ, you can perform as a rookie at that tight end spot. I think Brock Bowers is that type of player.
And I know Speedy brought up my Jets because I'm sitting here today and wondering, hey, how's the Jets going to screw this up? I mean, they'll draft Brock Bowers. And again, I've said this over and over and over again. that we in the last, I would say, decade, every single tight end that was drafted in the top 15 has not worked out. Okay, let's just go through them. And I don't want to hear Njoku. And Njoku is up and down every single year. He's not a good tight end. Travis Kelce, what was he drafted in the second round? I mean, you go and look at George Kittle. Where was he drafted?
Like fifth round.
The fifth or fourth round. I mean, come on. If you go up and down, even some of these other teams that have decent, tight end wide receivers.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, I think, was third round.
Yeah, I mean, they're usually drafted in the later rounds. So I am not too excited when I hear Brock Bowers.